Hi, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 0 of the White Yoda Podcast. I'm Ryan Dunkel. We're going to start off with just a little bit of background about me. Right now, I'm currently on track to be number 1 in my class of about 380 students. Along the way, I loved playing ice hockey, and I still do play ice hockey. It's been a huge part of my life, and even though I'm not going to be a pro athlete, and I'm not destined to be any kind of superstar, the level of success and the level of happiness that I reach because of playing hockey has had a tremendous effect on my life. I'm really satisfied with having played the sport, and I'm glad that I picked it up. And along the way, I actually picked up something else that has become the new big buzz in my life, and that's working out. About 2 years ago, because of hockey, I started working out, and I've become sort of an exercise junkie. My friends jokingly say that I'm obsessed with it. And even though that may be true, as you'll see later on, I find that actually a good quality to have. So you will definitely find out about that later on. Upon my graduation in May, I will be attending a military academy, either the United States Naval Academy or the United States Coast Guard Academy. I have to decide at the beginning of May, so in about 2 months, I have to have one of the biggest decisions of my life. So I will definitely also let you guys know how that goes. The reason I want to attend one of them is because I believe that the level of stress that they put you through in that is going to grow you into the individual that can make a positive influence on the world. And that's my ultimate goal in life, is to leave the world better than it was when I got here. And so I will go through the schools and then spend however long I decide to in the military. It depends on a lot of factors. And then I plan to start a business. And right now I don't have any specific ideas, but I fell in love with the idea about 2 years ago. The idea of really creating a product and bringing it out to people and having it positively influence the people that it touches and that it's involved with. And so because I don't have any ideas yet, about a year ago, I started this little book, and it houses every single idea. Not this one in particular, this one I just got, but my idea book, I kind of grouped them all together. It contains every idea that I've ever had, and I try to write down about 10 every day. And so that's going to lead to my ultimate finding of a idea that I want to bring to the people of the world and positively influence their lives. All right, so I know you guys didn't come here to listen to me talk about myself. And I don't want to talk about myself anymore because it's just a little bit awkward. So I'm going to talk about the real reason that you guys came here, and that is this podcast. So 18 years ago, on the day that this podcast is coming out, I was born. So I found it only fitting that this podcast should be born on the same day. So I wrote down on my calendar that I was going to start it on March 14th, and here I am. And the original idea came about a month and a half ago. I was at a hockey game, at my brother's hockey game, and I was talking to a business owner, and he suggested that I take my successes and the different things that I've learned along my path to success, whether it be academically, athletically, or just anything really, and just bring it out for people to be able to see, because somebody might be going through the same thing that I was going through, and my ability to succeed in that will give them hope, or will just allow them to know what to do. And so because academics was such a large part of my life throughout the last 4 years and even before that, I know that this podcast is going to mainly focus on success as a student. The thing is that success as a student is a very, very broad term, because students are simultaneously academic people, but they're also athletes, they're musicians, actors, actresses, employees, and the list goes on. It's amazing all the things that students do. And so really it's it's going to be a channel about success as a person, and because the things that you learn in success as being a student are going to translate into success later on in life, or in various things, the hard work, the dedication, those kinds of things. And so my goal is to take the things that I've learned, the different lessons and the obstacles that I've had to overcome, and just put them out there for anybody, whether it's a student or just anybody that wants to listen to it, for them to be able to see it and help them if they're going through some struggles or they're going through the same things that I did. And so the plan is to put them out once a week at least, and that's going to be every Tuesday. There's going to be one for sure. And then I'm going to shoot for doing two a week. 2 a week is going to be my goal, and they're going to be on Tuesdays and or Thursdays. And so that's basically the podcast. This is the White Yoda Podcast, and this is the basics of it. But it is starting to wind down for my allotted time that I wanted to give it. So before I go, I did want to let you guys know about one more facet of my podcast, one thing that I'm going to include in every single episode, and that is that I'm going to end every episode with a quote by a famous person. It could be somebody that's not famous, just a quote that I think kind of ties up the entire podcast. And it helps a lot because I believe that quotes, living your life by quotes, is a very good thing. The people that said the quotes might not have been perfect, but the quotes and the ideas are perfect or are along the lines of perfect, depending on how you look at it. And the old saying, the do as I say, not as I do, comes to mind when I think of that, because the people that said it, they could have had all these flaws, but what they were talking about, the general idea, it's positive, and it's something that you can live your life by. I live my life every day by certain quotes, and so I'm going to end every one of them with it. And plus, I get fired up a lot, and if I'm talking about something that I'm really, really passionate about, it's going to come out exactly how I mean it, whether that's blunt or not. And so for the episodes that are more blunt and the ones that require a blunt lesson for you to actually learn it, the quote at the end of it really helps to end the episode with a calm note, if that makes sense. And so without further ado, here goes the first quote of the White Yoda Podcast, and it's going to be by a man named Confucius. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of him. And so he says, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." So this is me taking my first step. I'm super excited for the journey that is to be, and I wanted to thank every single one of you that is watching this episode right now for being there from the beginning. I'm super excited, and I'm looking forward to it. So thank you. Until next time.